This aircraft, made in China, could soon be flying across Europe a lot.
Now we're going to the gate for boarding the COMAC C919 of China Eastern Airlines, the first passenger plane completely made in China, except for the engines. I'm so curious now.
Welcome to the Plane Insider. I'm Chris from Travel Sing Fly. Here you'll explore the world's airlines up close, from economy to business and first class, filmed live on board, authentic and full of detail. You'll also discover stunning destinations across all continents and learn how to make premium travel possible through miles, points and insider know-how built over 25 years of experience. Honest, inspiring and entertaining. It's your inside view into aviation and travel. This is the Plane Insider by Travel Sing Fly. Subscribe now and let's fly. My way to this aircraft that is completely new to me leads across the Sky Bridge here in Hong Kong, inaugurated 3 years ago. At 200 meters long and 30 meters high, it offers fantastic views of the entire airport and lots of planes, including this Starlux Airbus A350 bound for Taipei. The first passenger flight took place in 2023, and since then the COMAC C919 has only flown inside China. A certification by the EASA in Europe was hoped for by 2025, but due to delays and a lack of testing, it looks like it will take several more years, and certification is a prerequisite for most international customers. However, Ryanair's CEO Michael O'Leary has already announced that he will purchase the C919 if it's significantly cheaper than the offers from Seattle and Toulouse. So taking a look at this aircraft today definitely makes sense.
And here we are on board the COMAC C919 of China Eastern Airlines for our flight from Hong Kong to Shanghai. And this is really very special because, when you have the chance to go really on a plane that is completely new to you, and after way over 1,000 flights in my life, this is the case now. This plane is made in China, completely made in China, except for the engines. And I'm really curious how it's going to be. I feel it's more or less like the Boeing 737 or Airbus A320 family. Well, altogether it's a pretty regular feeling, I would say. Airbus A320 or Boeing 737 feeling. Here we have 2 seats in business class on both sides and 3 on both sides in economy class, just like on a normal or regular Boeing 737 or Airbus A320. Much better than in Europe, of course, where economy class and business class have the same kind of seats in almost every plane in Europe.
I forgot to mention, this time I took an Uber to the airport, and in Hong Kong you might end up in a sleek Tesla with Falcon wing doors. I was visiting some good friends, and the 45-minute drive from their house in western Hong Kong, 50 kilometers away to the airport, costs about 50 euros.
Before boarding I went to the lounge, and China Eastern Airlines is part of the SkyTeam Alliance. However, they don't have a SkyTeam lounge anymore here at Hong Kong Airport, so I went to their contract lounge, and that's the Plaza Premium Lounge. They have 3 lounges here in Hong Kong. I went to the Plaza Premium First Lounge, which is not much better than the others. It just had a much shorter queue. So after boarding there was a welcome drink, there's water or orange juice, then there's a wet towel, then there was a menu lying here already, so you could choose from a couple of drinks what you would like to have after takeoff, and then there's also lunch service, a choice of 2 meals. So I think the cabin is ready and we're gonna head for takeoff in a moment. Not only in the United States and in Europe we have delays, but also in China. This plane got to its first passenger flight with almost 10 years delay. And that first flight with passengers took place in May 2023. And that was a flight between Beijing and Shanghai. Now we're going 2 years later from Hong Kong to Shanghai. COMAC is planning a whole big series of planes, just like Boeing and Airbus. There's already now flying the C901, then this is the C919, and then they're also planning to have a C929 and so forth. The C in the aircraft type means, of course, COMAC, then the 9 stands for eternity. 9 is a very important number in China or in Chinese tradition, and then the 919, the 919 means 190, so that means it's a passenger plane with up to 190 seats. And they're planning, as I said, also a C929, so that would be a mid and long haul range plane with up to 290 seats, so that will be a wide body plane. The C909 is just partially made in China, but this plane is made in China, however, with lots of parts that come from Europe or the United States, and the engines come from the United States of America. Now, there's also quite a lot of orders already for this plane, however, not as many as planned have been delivered in the meantime, and China also ordered the three big airlines to buy 20 planes of this type each. So we have forced planes in this airline too. Two main competitors of the COMAC C919 are the Airbus A320 family and the Boeing 737 family, and at least in terms of cabin space, the Chinese aircraft really comes out on top here. In direct comparison, the COMAC C919 has a significantly wider cabin than its Western competitors. So in principle, installing slightly wider seats in economy class than we're used to would be possible. Well, dreams are nice and for free. Was a really nice takeoff out of Hong Kong airport over Hong Kong Bay and the outer islands. Now he already heard some noise from the galley, and we already got some tablecloths. That's a very good sign for lunch. And we also got a menu here, but that's not a food menu, but a drinks menu. It says wine list, but it's actually just red wine or white wine or beer. What beer and wine they actually have, they don't say here. But then there's all kinds of soft drinks, coffee and tea, juices, and then they have some original non-alcoholic drinks, and that's Bright Future. So that's lemon juice and orange juice with tonic and salt. Then there's Sunrise East. That's tomato juice and pineapple juice. So I'm sure it looks very nice. I need to try it. And then some sparkling original drinks. That's plum juice with sparkling water and lemon and mint juice with sparkling water. And then there's some cold milk coffee. And we got some hot towel as well. So dinner was a lot and actually quite good also. I did not have alcohol and that was really good like that, even though they offered it. And what is really interesting on this flight is just the view outside. What I wasn't so aware anymore about was that actually we're flying all along the coastline of China from Hong Kong to Shanghai, and the right side window is just the right one to sit on and or to sit by. And there's so much to see. First of all, the really beautiful landscape, but then also there's quite stunning airports being built down there. Two really big ones we just flew by already, and then lots of wind parks. They have lots of wind energy, and both on the hillsides and also out in the sea. So that's pretty impressive. It's just a huge country, but also a really, really forward-thinking country. The ticket for this flight I bought with miles, and that was miles of Flying Blue, of Air France and KLM. That's 17,000 miles plus not many fees, so that was really a pretty good price, I would say, for flying like through half of China, and including the lounge, of course, etc., etc. And I gained the miles not by flying on Air France, but this time by using my American Express membership reward points. I transferred them to Air France, KLM Flying Blue. In Asia, you can also redeem American Express membership reward points very, very nicely by transferring them to Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles or Cathay Pacific Asia miles, or, for example, British Airways Avios, and then book a flight with Japan Airlines through British Airways, or with Cathay Pacific through British Airways. So that is all really very good ideas for flying here on miles get generated through American Express membership rewards.
This flight was part of a large-scale trip across Asia, starting with 6 weeks in Japan, where I sang a lead role in an opera world premiere at the Opera House of Tokyo, followed by a dozen flights in low-cost economy, business class and even first class. And my reliable travel partner was once again the wonderful luggage of my sponsor, Level 8, which often surpasses the famous and expensive brands that I've all had in my travel life. For this XL trip, I chose the XL suitcase from Level 8's Voyager line. It accommodates even the most bulky items, and like all Level 8 suitcases, it rolls silently on its own smooth wheels, even with a weight of 32 kilograms, the maximum that's allowed on a plane. And the smart handles of a Voyager suitcase give you less back problems when lifting it into a trunk. Also with me on board was the robust Atlas backpack, which still looks like new even after a year of very bad treatment from my side, and even 14 kilograms inside are not a problem at all. Level 8's carry-ons also look great, not just the real eye-catchers of the Voyager line, but also, for example, the elegant aluminum suitcase Gibraltar, which also shows excellent craftsmanship on the inside. Check out the video description, there's an exclusive discount code for my viewers that's good for all bags and accessories of Level 8. Enjoy shopping and then some really great luggage.
Actually descending already now, how was this flight? First of all, it was of course very special because this was a flight on a plane that was completely new to me, the COMAC C919, so that was really a very special flight and I was really looking forward to it. When it comes to the seats, it's a little sad that they have this very new and special plane, but they didn't do anything with the seat. Of course, we have recliner seats, so it's already way better than, say, in Europe, where you have just really tight economy seats in business class. But compared to the rest here in the region, it could be so much better because actually there's almost no business class in Asia anymore that has no monitor screen in the seat in front of you, so that could really be improved even in economy class. I just flew Korean Air Airbus A321 in economy class, so that could really be improved. I just flew Korean Air Airbus A321 in economy, and they had really fantastic modern seats with fantastic monitor screens. So, and this here is a very new plane too, right? So it should be really much better when it comes to that. Then food was good. It was a lot of food. The drink list was a regional one, so that was also totally okay. The staff was very friendly, so that was also nice. And then, of course, the route was very, very interesting. A beautiful flight for a window seat. Really, really nice. So now here we've landed at Shanghai Hongqiao Airport, one of the two big international airports of Shanghai. That's Pudong and Hongqiao. I hope you really enjoyed watching this review. If yes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, write your comments.
There's much more behind each of my videos than meets the eye. Nothing is produced quickly or haphazardly here. That's why this channel is different. Every shot, every edit, every piece of research is done by hand with a lot of time, passion and attention to detail. If you appreciate this, then please subscribe to the channel right now, and if you would like to support me further, leave me a super thank or buy me a coffee or two with a little link on the screen. This will help me continue producing honest, independent airline reports and travel videos. Thank you so much for being part of this, because without you, much of this would not be possible.
And another really nice report would be this one over here. Check it out right away. I'm Chris. Thank you for watching.